Hello and welcome, Reds. Thank you very much for tuning into today's live stream watch along. And as you can tell by my little voice crack there, I'm not being the best anyway, so apologies. There hasn't been obviously live stream watch alongs. Hopefully, I've got enough energy tomorrow, and we will be having one on the channel. Most importantly, everyone, a massive thank you as always for tuning in. If you are new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below first and foremost, and just let us know your thoughts on the game. The link is in the drop down description as well. If you are watching live, you want to get your thoughts and opinions. I'm more bothered about what you all think, getting involved in the show, fan interaction as well. That's what we created the channel for. So just pop the link into the obviously the top bar of your web browser. Obviously, I will bring it into the studio. So if you do have a camera or whatnot, you're very much welcome to hop on and very much have your say, even if you're a Chelsea fan as well. But it's a bit of a mad one, as we know, in reality. Obviously, Graham Potter getting the sack last night. I'd say I was surprised, but you're not really surprised in the modern day era now in terms of football and terms the landscape of teams, and first and foremost the Premier League. It's always that case of it's a never changing roundabout, and especially a club like an institution that is Chelsea Football Club. Apart from obviously Manchester City, Chelsea, you'd say since the 2000s have been this probably the second most successful team in the Premier League era. Obviously, Manchester United, Man City, and Chelsea in terms of Premier League titles as well. So yeah, it's ridiculous in all honesty, but that's what has brought success to Chelsea. Of course, the different ownership structure and the hierarchy at Chelsea, obviously with Roman obviously leaving the football club, and obviously Todd Bowley now with fresh ideas, fresh money. Um, but at the minute, he's ran out of ideas, in all honesty. I think it's going to take a very long while for Todd Bowley to really get to grips with what he wants from his football club. He's more or less playing fancy football, in all honesty. I think as we'll speak about today's episode, everyone, in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of having different types of players as well for certain types of managers. We've seen that in terms of obviously Scolari's, the legendary managers, the Mourinho's, the list goes on. Avram Grant, Di Matteo, when he come in, won the Champions League, and then a couple of months later, very much found himself leaving the football club. So, yeah, even managers that have won the Champions League, a couple of months later, they get the sack. But that's the conveyor belt of Chelsea Football Club, and Chelsea fans quite rightly would say that it has been a very sustained, successful period for the football club as well, in all honesty. But big up there, Tom. Massive thank you for tuning in, mate. Oh, how are we? And Graham Potter wanted to upgrade to Leicester. And if you're around, mate, you're very welcome to drop in, because obviously I'll do a little bit of content. I'll put that on my socials as well, because I've been meaning to speak to you, Ant, because as soon as I heard it, I was thinking of you, Ant, and obviously Leicester Football Club. In all honesty, I think that is amazing news. If I was a Leicester fan, I'd be all over Graham Potter in terms of recruiting him for your football club. You only have to look at the great job that he done at Brighton, and obviously De Zerbi has very much transitioned, taken the reins off him, and at the minute he's doing a better job than Graham Potter, but hence is the good recruitment from Brighton at the minute. But yeah, I'd be all over that answer anyway. But if you can jump on today, mate, obviously I'll do a show with you this week, mate. And if you need me or whatnot, let us know, matey. But massive thank you for tuning in, La. And as you can see there, chat, obviously the win percentage going into this game, probably two of the worst teams in the last couple of months, in all honesty. As you can see here, in terms of the league table, it's quite frankly atrocious from both sets of fan bases. You look at Liverpool riding high in 8th position, and then you literally have to scroll down to get both teams in. Chelsea Football Club in 11th position as well. It's madness, and it's quite frankly laughable, in all honesty. But yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. But hence is obviously as Chelsea we know and love. But we'll be getting Kevin. There we go. How are we? The first guest on today's episode. How are we, Kev?
Crack, lad. Yeah, oh, good.
Yeah, not too bad. We'll get straight into it. Obviously, the news story that is very much dominating going into this fixture. Graham Potter, I've been speaking to you off camera this week, and I wasn't surprised, in all honesty. The conveyor belt that is Chelsea Football Club, chop and change and managers. It is a successful model, has been in the past for them, mate. But what's your general consensus, really, mate, in terms of just do you think you should have given him enough time, or obviously we'll probably delve into it a lot more detail, really, to the player side of it as well.
I think pre-transfer, pre FFP, I think Chelsea would have gotten away with it, by jumping manager to manager whenever they wanted to. But I think since that's come in, you can see why they've suffered in recent times because of the amount of manager changes that have happened, for that club. I don't understand what they'd be thinking half the time. I mean, Pauli's only been there, a year? And he's already gone through how many managers?
Yeah, a couple. And is that me or my headset going, or is that Kev? Is it my connection? Is it lagging my end, or?
No, you're grand.
Sounds like you're underwater there, Kev. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's like your end, Jack, mate.
I think that's your
end.
Oh,
is it? Oh, yeah. Hang on. Carry on. Sorry, La.
You're grand. You're grand. That's probably just a bandwidth thing. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Since Paulie came in, is pretty bad, isn't it? Like there's no. He's not really giving himself much of a level of respect. From any kind of fan base. Like Chelsea fans are just going to have to get along with it and do what they have to do. But other fan bases, pundits, other managers, owners, it's just not going to bode well in his favour, is it? In my opinion, like, I mean, just dropping managers to drop a hat just after a few poor runs. I mean, if he's bringing in a manager to rebuild, he's after spending the money. What's he expect? Like immediate results within a month? It's ridiculous. Like it's just a conveyor belt, as you said yourself. Shocking. I know you're on mute, Jack. That's there for Jack.
You go. Yeah, you can tell I've not been I haven't done a live stream in a while. You want to think it. And I've been meaning to speak to you, mate. As I said, top of the show, you were the first person I thought of when Potter got sacked, because the quality of manager. I spoke to you over the last couple of months, I said, and I think I warned you, me and Connor, all those years ago about Brendan. Yes, he's been successful and he won it, but as you've alluded to, mate, this week. The last 18 months, would you say, Brendan very much tarnished his career, which is a sad reality. But
the thing is, the history books will be very kind to Brendan Rodgers at Leicester. Coming up with our two highest finishes in the Premier League, apart from the title win, winning the FA Cup and getting to a European semi-final. But it's like all of that happened in the first 18 months. Since then, it's just been a decline. And it's a decline that, like, he's not solely responsible for, but his majority of it is his doing. And even with the decline that I think you can sort of expect from that, there is no way that this team, with the players like James Maddison, Yuri Tielemans, Harvey Barnes, etc., should be 1 point off the bottom of the Premier League, 9 games. I've just got to go. I've been waiting all day for
delivery. No, go, lad. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Cheers, mate. Right, we'll add hands back anyway. It might be Brendan Rodgers on the phone. You never know. But big up there, chat. As I said, Potter was doomed from day one. Big up there, Bri. Well and truly, mate. I've got a buzzy, but yeah, big up. Salio, Gary, how are we, mate? What a show of rubbish at the Etihad. Rodgers to Spurs. Well, he was linked
with him. That's not a bad show.
He was linked with him back in the day, wasn't he? Brendan Rodgers. But as you do to go back with Pochettino, there's going to be plenty of shows, and obviously I'll try and get hands on as well through the week, because you've got Tottenham need to replace their manager. What's happening there? Obviously Leicester with their managerial hot seat as well. Very talented squad, as spoke to Ant this season. Whoever does inherit that team still a lot of quality. Might need to move the odd player out here and there. But yeah, sorry, Ant. I'll just let you continue, mate. Were you surprised by Potter getting the sack at Chelsea, mate?
No, like they're trying to reframe it of like new owner, new Chelsea. It's the same thing, just sort of packaged in a different way with slightly less of a plan, if I'm honest. But I always said, and I've said this for the longest time, when Potter joined Chelsea, I did a stream about it as well. I think Graham Potter's a very good manager, but I don't think he's a Chelsea manager. And he probably went to the worst club out of the traditional big six that Graham Potter could have gone to. I think if he'd gone to somewhere like a Tottenham, even like, I know you guys aren't looking for a new manager, but even like Liverpool, somewhere like that where he would actually be given time to implement what he's doing. And it's not just that. Yes, like financially, he's been backed with what, 600 million. How many of those do you actually reckon he wanted? Because I think he got given. I know people say about not getting the players they wanted. I think he got given too much and too many players.
Yeah.
It's one of those as well. Like I think 90% of managers would have failed him with the cards he was dealt at Chelsea, and it needed to be someone like a top tier manager coming in to replace Tuchel. I think Graham Potter can become that, but it was very clear he wasn't that at Brighton. You don't go, with all due respect to Brighton, to Brighton, who've never qualified in European football, never won a major trophy. You don't go from that to then Chelsea, who Todd Bowley is going in there with the intention to compete with the Real Madrids and like those clubs of the world.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely do it. We'll be doing plenty of shows. Would you add to that, Kev? Obviously, on spot on there. Anyway,
I think so. Yeah, Potter suits a team that's loyal to him, like an ownership, an owner base that's loyal to him. It's this is where you kind of got, you'll hear rival fans, especially with Everton and Liverpool, they say that they're a glamour club or whatever like that, but they're not really. They're loyal. They've got a history there. Whereas Chelsea is your ultimate glamour club. It's the club that you go to make your bobs. It's the clubs that expect results even when it's impossible to get. And that's the problem with Graham Potter's just fell into the same boat that David Moyes did at United, to be honest with you. He's after being thrown in at the deep end with a team that's only been playing with a team that's been semi-successful, I should say, on the two because they did with the European Cup. So he did something well there, and to follow that with, it's just it's a glamour club for me. They've been wrong, but there's a reason why they have their names.
Yeah. Sorry there, boys. I was listening. It is your mic, Kev, so I'll just remove you. Yeah, just watch the stream back anyway. Hang on. Try speaking now. Hello.
3, 2, 1.
You still sound like a Dalek.
I sound like a Dalek.
But yeah, and yeah, it's someone's messed with your buttons there, lad. And going into this game, as obviously you being a neutral, mate, it's probably two of the most underperforming teams in the Premier League. In all honesty, like both teams have been playing absolutely atrocious. You probably watched us against City this week and went, same with Leicester, like us three at the beginning of the year, the teams in terms of Chelsea, Leicester, even add West Ham to that mix as well. I think all of us had quite high expectations in reality, given the infrastructure and the team and everything really. But it's what are you expecting going into this game, mate? From obviously either a Chelsea or Liverpool point of view, mate.
The thing is, from Liverpool, I half expect more of the same from you guys because it just feels like, and I haven't watched Liverpool week in, week out like you guys have, but it feels like every time I watch them, there's almost a predictability about it. You concede and then you start to see that soft underbelly again. It's like a few years ago when you conceded, you always thought they're going to come back again anyway. It doesn't obviously you don't want to concede goals, but if you do, it's not the end of the world because you've got that quality and that mentality to get back into games. It just feels like that's gone now. With Chelsea, some weeks they turn up and they look absolutely brilliant. And other weeks they look like exactly what they are, just 11 strangers thrown together on a pitch.
Yeah, it's the maddest one for me, mate. And chat was obviously the sign that Cucurella alluded to it before, and in terms of Potter getting the players. And the maddest one for me, Kev, will try your mic there, la. Hello? He's tested it out. And as chat said, big up there, chat. He's got a bad throat. Well, I've had one this week. Was he? Probably ran. I thought Spider had done 2 shows last night and his voice was gone. No, but yeah, it's in terms of obviously the playing facilities at Chelsea. Obviously, the signing of João Felix, not really an out-and-out number 9, someone that's going to guarantee you goals. In all honesty, and Tizzy, in terms of they brought in Aubameyang. Aubameyang's been on a bloody sun lounger for the majority of this season. Really, he's had his feet up, relaxed. I think he wants to go back to Barcelona, but for a club that you would assume you associate with having great legendary strikers at the club, they're a million miles away. In all honesty, mate, for where they want to be.
They are, and it's like we've mentioned it was going to take time, but it feels like they've just, like when you play in career mode and you start with a crap team and you just buy all of the players in one go and hope for the best. It feels like they've done that, and it's like players like, we haven't even mentioned players like this. Raheem Sterling signed for big money at the start of the season. He's
went off the boil, hasn't he? Like, he started quite well, and then.
Well, everyone says he started quite well. He scored 2 against Leicester and then went very quiet. So Danny Ward tax and all. But no, so there's stuff. The thing is, there's so many players that they've signed, but like look very good players. But it's like, how many of them are actually going to get an opportunity to show it?
Yeah, no, it's mad. In terms of, obviously, I'll quickly read out a quote here, chat, as well. Keep on getting your comments in. Obviously, the link is in the description. If you want to pop on, have your say in terms of the game. But obviously, Bruno, who is, of course, the Chelsea assistant, who's took interim charge, he was quoted, obviously, today in his press conference, the new Chelsea interim. If I'm here, it's because the club thought it was the right step. I spoke to the board. They have been supportive. It's a massive challenge. I have a lot of experience. I will try to help players, and I feel I can help the young players as well. And that's the thing. And like with any, in terms of top elite side, especially in the Premier League, for me, the staggering point is it wasn't just Potter that he brought in Chelsea. He brought in like a whole 20 coaching staff, didn't he?
They brought in loads of the Brighton backroom staff. But you know what I found really weird? Because I was talking to a Brighton fan about this at the time. It wasn't just Graham Potter's staff that they brought in. It was the staff that was at Brighton under Chris Hughton, and well before Graham Potter had anything to do with them, like Bruno and these kind of people. So I like Graham Potter, but I'm a little bit of the wary side of, if he comes into Leicester and does well, is he going to gut us like he did for Brighton? He's got pretty much our whole backroom staff apart from the recruitment team. Yeah,
no, I think, as you said, it's top of the show, mate. You'd hope that, and I think unless he was either going to a Liverpool or a Manchester United, I think I'd say he wouldn't leave his. And I think he's burnt his bridges now. Like, he spent, was it like 5-6 years at Brighton? He was one of the longest serving managers.
It was pretty much the first season after Chris Hughton kept him up, didn't he? And then from there. But something that's mad that's come out about Graham Potter today is he's got the same agents and the same backroom staff as Jamie Vardy does. And there's a lot of links in between Graham Potter's management company and the Leicester City board. So it feels like it's such an open goal, but we're going to miss it, and we're going to get someone absolutely dog awful, and it's still going to be better than Brendan.
Yeah, no. Speaking about it, this week with our mate Connor from the Cop Council, and we were just saying, we were seeing the names linked with Leicester, and we went Agent Rafa, bloody hell. Like, as much as we all love Rafa, but I don't think he's the type of manager, in terms of the ethos of Leicester. I think I think every club wants to play an nice attacking brand of football.
I say that I'm not that asked about the brand of football. I would have taken Sean Dyche at Leicester in a heartbeat. But looking at his time at Everton, that was like he was going to fail the minute he sort of took that job on because of his relationship with the Everton fans. But even at Newcastle, he did a decent job keeping them up. But that's 5 years ago, and I know 5 years doesn't sound a huge amount of time. Football moves on a long way in 5 years, and I just feel like he'll keep us in the league, and that'll be all he does. I don't think I think it's a bit of. It's so important we get this next manager right, because we're in a position at the moment where we've got a lot of good players, but we're also, if we come and get a manager that they don't want to play for, they'll all be out the door, and then we're back to square one of where we were under Craig Shakespeare / Claude Puel.
No,
so it's at a knife edge for Leicester, I'd say.
Yeah, and that end of the season as well, mate. In chat, you look at some. Well, I'll quickly bring up the table anyway. Go. We can just change that layout if I've done it right. There we go. Kev, can we hear you?
You can hear me.
Oh, that's much better. Bloody hell. So it doesn't sound like you've done about 20
I think StreamYard just might have doubled up a bit and then pushed it up in there because there was no effects or anything on here. So
yeah, it's because you used to, especially you went to your bandwidth, and I was like, oh, sounds, yeah, my Wi-Fi's in the mud anyway.
I thought it was, yeah, but it's not. No, I heard it when I listened back through, but I didn't know what it was, and then when I just left and came back, it was okay.
Yeah, now we go all sorted now, mate. But yeah, well, yeah, I'm just seeing that, mate. But yeah, as I was alluding there, chat as well, you look at how tight it is, even from 12 downwards, it's madness. And especially if Everton do the business tonight, which, of course, Ant and every other team down there are hoping that they don't, even us. But don't we start on Spurs?
Who do you think will go down, lads?
I think Leicester, Southampton, Bournemouth.
Oh, do you?
You think you should go down?
I think you'll get a new manager bonus and it'll sort out for a while. I think Everton are in real trouble, to be honest with you.
I hope you're right, but my thing is, I feel like sacking Brendan Rodgers was the right thing to do, but I feel like it's too little, too late. It should have happened about 3-4 months ago at the latest. But it's just, I'm just praying that there's 3 worse teams than us, but it is massively reliant on there being a new manager bounce. But the thing is, we've still got like a lot of Brendan Rodgers' backroom staff left, but the assistant that we're going to have in charge of the game tomorrow night was Brendan Rodgers' assistant. So it's going to be the same style of football and the same.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why would you say that's a common occurrence now, Kev? Like, me and Ant were speaking about that at Chelsea. Obviously, the fella, the quote that I read from Bruno, he was the assistant from obviously the Graham Potter at Chelsea. It's why do you think that's a common occurrence now? Do you think it's cheaper?
Well, I think it's a stability thing and a cheaper thing. But in that, it's all down to the fact how much balls really the assistant has now that the manager's gone. Will he try to put his own spin on things and just say, lads, we're going to try this for the next couple of days, and try and implement where I think there was issues in the past, and and maybe some managers are really stubborn about changing some of their system because it affects probably the best part of their own system. So maybe you might get the assistant or whoever it was trying their own spin on things. Maybe go a bit more defensive and try and nick a win that way. But a counter-attacking football always works well for somebody coming in that doesn't have much time to blend the team into their style of play. So it really comes down to how much risk the assistant wants to take now that the manager's gone. I mean, because at the end of the day, maybe he's kept on until the end of the season because no matter what, his job is gone anyway.
Is it the Southampton manager as well this season? He's I forgot his name, so apologies. Obviously, he's taken over. And
Hassan Hultil, is it?
He left, and then I think it was like his assistant. I can't remember. You'll know his name, but he looks the part anyway. Obviously, the new manager bounce. It's a bit of a mad thing, and do you think that still persists within football? Because I'm fuming. Like if that actually does happen, and they get the result against us tomorrow evening, it's.
I don't know if you remember it a few years ago when Ranieri got sacked. The first game we played was Liverpool, and we hadn't won in about 3 months or something. Then we play Liverpool and we beat you 3-1. And it's like, where has that team been for the last 3 months? So I still think it's a thing. Like you look just talking from personal experience, you see when Puel got sacked, we went on a run of like 8 wins. It's like I don't get how it happens, and I wouldn't be surprised in the same way. Say I wouldn't be surprised if we get relegated. I wouldn't be surprised because there's a lot of players that have fallen out with Brendan Rodgers. If we see one of the best few performances all season from us. What I'm really interested to see though is if Siunchu comes back in tomorrow because he's publicly had falling outs with Brendan Rodgers. So players like that, Siunchu, Samore, if they come back in, I think it's a real telling sort of sign of there was a divide in the camp. But
you could clearly see it in the Liverpool documentary that time. Remember when Rodgers was there? Like he'll hold a grudge. Like see the way he was telling off Raheem Sterling, and then he'll bench, and he will hold a grudge if you test him. It seems like he acts like your best pal, but then all of a sudden like he'll make sure that you don't see any game time in that kind of way. just to kind of better himself. It's something that kind of hindered him really throughout his career so far as a manager because he's got the right tactics when it comes to it, but if he hasn't got the players on board with that, then they're having more and more worries piling on top of him and more stress levels that they're not going to be able to play the formation that he wants or the tactic style that he wants because there's a bitterness there or there's something there that's just stopping him from wanting to play for this manager. So yeah,
it's like. I know what you were saying about Sterling as well. It's gone under the radar massively. The reason Kasper Schmeichel left was because he had a spat with falling out with Brendan Rodgers as well. It's like when it's just one player, you think the player might be the issue, but when you're looking at it, it's 4 or 5 senior players. It's like he should have gone a long time ago before it got to this stage.
Yeah,
but it's like with Siunchu, and here's the example I always use: you don't get into the Bundesliga team of the year and the Premier League team of the year at the age of 23 by being a bad defender. And then he's going to Atletico Madrid at the end of this year on a free contract. Like, he's good enough for Simeone, but he isn't good enough for a Brendan Rodgers relegation battle. It's like, it just doesn't make sense.
That's mad, mate, isn't it?
Salah's in the same boat. Look at Salah, went off to Roma, Fiorentina, came back, became a world star. Just depends on who's your manager, really.
Yeah. It's look at Klopp. He's made... probably average players into world class in certain cases, as I said, and it's you never know. Once is that being confirmed that he's going to Atletico? I'll tell you what, that'd be a great sign for them.
Well, it's not confirmed by the club, but Fabrizio's tweeted it.
Yeah, the tapping merchant. So we'll find out. We'll find out.
That's 11 managers gone this season.
It's 11. I think no, 13.
It's 13, is it?
I think it's like 12 or 8. Chat years and now, but we'll rattle through all these comments anyway. We'll have a little look. Obviously, the Chelsea team, they got absolutely battered by Villa, but Kante's back, of course. Every single time we play Chelsea, he rises back from an injury and he plays amazing against.
He's like the Undertaker, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's just possible. There comes Kante, leg it.
I love him as a player.
I do.
Shame that he's had those injuries, but it was expected given how much he ran, and it's sad really. But you never know; it could be just the rest he needed. But we'll get to obviously Brian's comments. Chelsea have 10 wins all season, and only one of those was against the side that's currently in the top half, Villa, in October. Great stat, that, Brian. But if there's a Robin Hood of the Premier League, it's the Reds. We give, and it's all a master plan, chat, as we were saying about the bottom 3, and we'll get to all yours. It's a master plan to get the Ev relegated, chat.
Yeah.
Right, Klopp knows what he's doing. That'll be our trophy at the end of the season. Do we think Chelsea make a quick appointment? Go with you, Kev, on that one.
Who's available? Nagelsmann, Pochettino.
If I was Chelsea, I go.
Benitez in a covering role. Is he managing anybody? Did he pop back in there as an interim manager?
Chelsea he won a trophy with Chelsea, didn't he? And then he got handed out again. Was it the Europa League he won back in the day with Chelsea?
I didn't know. I don't think you go back there. No respect from him.
I'd say Nagelsmann for me.
He suits that style. Yeah, I think if he tries to go between Chelsea and Spurs, he'll get money at Chelsea and he'll get extra time at Spurs. But you know, you make yourself a toxic manager by kind of going to Spurs, really, don't you? You kind of make yourself not nobody wants to really touch you unless you go to the Italian league or something, you know, after being at Spurs, really. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll dive into more comments as well. Jurgen Klopp, currently the longest serving manager currently in the Premier League. He is, Doug. And I think, obviously, before we jumped on air, watched an interview with him, and he joked about it. It was like, he more or less said to the press room, he was like, I bet you're all wondering how I'm still here. I think he's the third longest serving manager in the Football League as well. So that just goes to show, considering the sheer amount of teams in English football in general as well, and all the tiers, that's still a good stat. But as we spoke about at the top of the show, in terms of stability, Ant alluded to, obviously Chelsea, and stability is very rare in modern day football. You only have to look at, obviously, the great work Arteta eventually done. It took him 3 years to get there, but all those Arsenal fans that were wanting him out the football club, and he's eventually turned stuff around. Obviously, it helps when you spend the money, of course, but this season, as you can tell, when he spent it well, he's proven all the doubters wrong. But yeah, big up there, Ant. A massive thank you for very much jumping on, mate. And
yeah, hopefully talk soon. In a bit.
Definitely. Speak to you soon, matey. Thank you for jumping on, mate. There we go. Absolute legends. The link is there, chat, as well. If you want to jump on, have your say as well. But yeah, Tuchel personally requested the Aubameyang signing, so Bowley got him, then sacked Tuchel 5 days later. Yeah, we spoke about that. Obviously, I've asked him for your bottom three. Kev, who was your bottom three? Sorry, mate.
For me, Bournemouth. No, the way they're playing, you see. I said Bournemouth. I said Southampton. And I said Everton. Because I just, they're capable of getting out of it. But, I mean, Leeds could go down. And, Leeds could go down. Forest could go down. I don't think, Forest at home have been good. They've had good results all season at home, even against big sides. So, their home form alone can keep them. Everton are losing home anyway. There's no consistency there whatsoever. Leeds can turn up and win 2 in 5. And draw 1 and then, lose 3 in a row. It's just, there's a weird bounce there. Leicester just up the yo-yo into it. But I still think that Leicester can pull out. I say once they got rid of Rodgers and they get some stability back there and they get rid of that kind of nasty feeling out of the club that's there at the moment, the clear heads, fresh. It'll just feel refreshing to Leicester. That lads will just enjoy the game for each other and start to play. Because when you get a situation like that with the manager's controlling everything, he's controlling the narrative, he's making sure nobody says anything to anybody else. If anybody kind of talks up against him, puts him in a bold corner. It doesn't work. It's not the right way to deal individually with players. It only makes, at the end of the day, lads, we watch football and they're paid millions, but they're still young lads, and they still rebel. They still do whatever at a young age, so they still have that in them. I mean, I'm 41? And I still have an odd rebellion when somebody tries to tell me something. I kind of say, what? Are you talking about?
You don't look forward to that.
I know. It's just starting to creep in the beard, though.
But especially after watching the Reds this season.
So I think that's pretty much what that is actually this season. But no, for me, it's just once you get that bad feeling and that bad situation out of a club, whether regardless, it's not fully on the manager, but just a situational thing where it's egos and bouncing off each other kind of thing. But at the end of the day, he had the final say in who played and who didn't play. And if he's used the power on that, then he's probably getting, the cold shoulder by some of the players in the team, And if Kasper Schmeichel is the one that's after leaving that team because of him, then the club should have acted on that straight away. If Kasper said I'm leaving because of the manager, they should have gotten rid of the manager because he was outstanding. Kasper was the only thing that was really keeping them. He got him win the league. Yeah, he got him in Premier League the way he played. Yeah. He was really good. Like he's a good keeper. But no, for me, I think they'll drive on from this. I'm hoping not against us. They'll have an old dip against us, but I'm hoping that they get good results against the teams around us, and they will survive. But at the end of the day, I don't care. I'm worried about Liverpool at this stage, and I will chat about everything to do with the football.
We'll be in the relegation soon enough. I'll tell you what, here we go, a couple of weeks. That's the thing that I want to talk about, mate, as well. I think it's so... Obviously, I've had a couple of days to reflect. Obviously, not doing content creation. Me currently dying off camera. I'm feeling much better now, as you can tell, chat. I'm still a bit croaky, but I think...
Man flu.
Yeah. It's about sending the positive messages as much as you possibly can, mate, in terms of this team. I think it's so easy, and I've been caught up with it this season as well. Obviously, the constant barge, and obviously they've taken on us on such a massive ride, Kev, and chat. This club been so successful. And of course, we all know the bloody gaping issues within the club, but I think we just need to try and galvanise the spirit in which made this Liverpool team so great in previous seasons. I think, yes, we're playing rubbish, but I think as much, if every single one of us could just try and get behind them as much as we possibly can. Yes, results aren't the best, of course they aren't. In terms of playing facilities, playing squad as well, needs improving. But I think the only way these lads actually get back on the horse this season is if the fans from around the world would just all try and get behind them as much as we possibly can, mate.
Yeah, passes down onto the pitch. It's clear as day. It's some of the biggest comebacks that Liverpool have ever had. When we look down the nose, no matter how poor we're playing in the league, is when they're greeted by the bus, loads of people sitting outside the stadium. They're cheered on, and getting on the team's back like this. We understand that they're in a poor vein of form. I'll say it for the 100th time probably on this channel. This team is fatigued. It's completely and utterly mentally and physically fatigued. They're still trying to do their job. It's not like they're wanting to do it because they're wanting to leave the club. They physically can't do it because they're tired. When you're mentally tired and physically tired at the same time, that's the worst kind of combination you could ever get. It's being physically tired and you're still wanting to do things, but when you're mentally fatigued, that can add a small bit of tiredness by 10 times. That's how strong being mentally fatigued is in sports, and for me, they get paid the big bobs. They get paid, but I mean, you had long. You'll be sick of me saying this, lads. Longest game in history, or biggest amount of games in history for any team to play in the league. Previous, you had fellas coming back from injuries that are almost career ending, and then still bouncing back to play. World Cups in the middle of seasons for big teams is more damaging than the little teams, because you don't see many of the little team players getting into these World Cup things, and it just decimates squads and does it, But and also the fact that with the injuries within the squad itself, and I have to lay a small bit of blame on not having enough formations ready and not being ready that way. That should have been dealt with as well. So like at least 15% of that blame has to lie within the coaching staff, but the rest is not being backed. I'm saying it straight off. 55%, 60% of that is not being backed. The rest of it in between is the fatigue of the players. And all we have to do now is, these guys know how to do this because they've done this before. As I said, they've done this in 2021 when we were down and out and had nothing. And if so be, and we have to use the younger players, use them. Do whatever you can just to get a bit of fight in there. It could be a spark from an unlikely area of the pitch. It was Patetic a couple of months ago. That was our little gem, and obviously Diaz is back now, and once he gets on that pitch, I think it's going to be way better. And even at that was Manchester City, and even though they've dipped off since last season, or in the last couple of seasons as well, they're still top quality side with top quality squad, and they have players that barely played many games from last season that can come in and do the job. And then when they don't have it, they just rebuy more of them, and that's what they do. And that's why they're able to stay ahead of the game, whereas we have to play with what we have, and we can't just replace them whenever we need to, which I'm hoping is going to change this summer, as Klopp has asked for. But for me, what if we can just get... That was Manchester City. We got Chelsea now tomorrow night. That can be a big boost going into Arsenal. Arsenal at Anfield have a terrible record in recent years. I don't care how good they're doing this season. And if you want case in point in what I'm saying, Manchester United, they've won a trophy or whatever this season, but they're still worse off at this moment in time in the league than they were under Rangnick and with Cristiano Ronaldo last year. by a good number of points. So it's all right saying that they
You showed me
improved.
that before.
I did
last
show you
night.
that. Yeah, I did show you, and they've just stayed the same. But they had a good run in the cup. They got easy enough teams, but and sometimes that happens. It happened to us as Liverpool, where we've had an okay season, but we've had a good run of games in one or two competitions. But it just says that they haven't improved and that we've dropped off. Chelsea have dropped off. Spurs have dropped off. Newcastle, Brighton, I think, and maybe Arsenal are the teams that have improved this season. I think City have stayed pretty much the same, and a slight decline from where they were at their peak. But we've completely dropped off, and it's down to the amount of games we played last season. I said it to you at the start of the season. I said if we finished third, I would love to be involved in the title race, but I just think last season and this World Cup is going to kill us. I think third would be the max we might finish. So
it's Liverpool are the big story coming out of this season, aren't they, mate? But
yeah.
I think if you ask City fans as well, their drop off is, if Arsenal do go and win the league, it's going to be great for the league, not good for Liverpool, of course. It's a missed opportunity in Liverpool. If
you say, look, what are City's points going to finish at the end of the season? And if you can tell straight away by the amount of points that they have, how much they've dropped off by the end of the season. I'll take a look at that. But it's that's a telling.
That still for me is obviously one of their big and selling points, and I think they will, of course, go out and spend big as they always do. I think obviously Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, he stays as well, but of course, for me, all my Arsenal mates, we made up for them. But I think, as we spoke about, chat as well, we'll speak about team selection as well, chat. Do get your comments in the comment section below and saying your starting 11 prediction as well. Let me know your thoughts. And
so they can get a maximum of 94 points.
Yeah.
But that means winning every single game till the end of the season, which means if you're going to convert that around, they don't tend to do that. They do tend to go on runs, but not in the form that they get a good run of form around now, and then they kind of have one or two little drop-offs. So maybe 80-something points, which tells you that they've probably dropped off by 11 or 12 points in the last couple of seasons. So, yeah.
That's mad, mate. Yeah. We get to everyone's comments as well. Obviously, the link is in the description chat if you want to get your thoughts on, obviously, the game tomorrow evening. Hopefully, we'll be doing a watch-along if I'm up for it. But hopefully, I should be doing it. Mark, I'm leading Jack's mini league. Doug, I have you know me, chat. I'm disappointed in myself because I did start like a little show series at the season, but it lasted about 2 weeks. So apologies. I know a lot of people love fantasy football, and I think I'll probably, if someone would like to do a fantasy football show next season and host it and present it and everything, they're very welcome to.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's and someone that can actually do it on every single week to the exact time and actually do it. I'll do all the graphics in the background for Kev. But obviously Kev will, the kit men, me and Kev will be doing a lot.
Oh yeah, that's the name. That's the first time we said it, really, isn't it? Yeah, properly.
Yeah, and big up Andrew. How are we, lad?
Andy.
Alan.
How are we, mate?
I'm Sam, mate. I had a good birthday. Still rough from last night. I watched Mania over the weekend.
Yeah, it's good, mate.
Yeah, I think, obviously, I think tomorrow, again, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think both teams have been. I'm not going to swear, but I think both teams have been crap this season.
Yeah, no. YouTube guidelines are sound, lads. I was going to ask you what you got for your birthday, mate. All you
want? I just got money. I just got money. And stuff. Just got money and cards.
All you want is 3 points for the Reds, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all I want. That's all I want tomorrow. But if they can't do that, then
yeah, I know.
Same old.
Yeah, you're like every single one of us, mate. It's so frustrating watching this Liverpool side this season, mate. But I obviously get your thoughts on obviously team selection in a little second, Andrew. We'll get through all these comments. Obviously, a link is in the description chat if you want to pop on, have your say. I didn't know we had one. Doug. Yeah, I think you're in it, Bri. I think you are, mate. I think we did set it up at the beginning of the season. But going back to the fantasy football, are you in that, Andrew?
Yeah, I haven't checked, to be honest.
Yeah, I've still
I'm
got.
like you. I don't check all the time.
Yeah. Are you doing well on fantasy football, Kev?
A few seasons ago, I used to win most of the things that I was in, but I didn't do much. Well, I kind of had a baby last year, so I didn't concentrate on much last year. And then this year, I'm not doing too badly. Let me have a look at my league. Yeah, so I am. Where's this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I'm hanging around the top 5 in most of the leagues that I'm in anyway. In the ones that are there, so it's not too bad. Top 5 to top 11 in one. But that's a really good league. So
yeah,
it's pretty good.
But as Mark said, could have done any worse than the Sunday League team I watch. 23-0 loss. Who were you watching, Mark? I was going to say you'd be watching the Evo or Liverpool really at that rate, mate. But yeah, it's like especially both teams this season. But I say when it gets to that, but we've all been there on Sunday League or whatever level when you're on the wrong side of that, and especially Manchester United know what it means to get walloped this season. So 7-0. Jax, the kid lads who leads HD Space. Oh yeah, I've got plenty of bloopers on this channel, as you all know. The best one was when, as we know, I was on mute for 10 minutes. Yeah, no comments. Andrew, I get to you, obviously just your thoughts really going into this game, mate. Obviously, we spoke to Kev, spoke to Ant. You said a lot of, would you say, trepidation going into this, bit uncertain, considering obviously the changing of manager for Chelsea.
Yeah, I think it's just one of them. Really, just depends. What tomorrow? Are we got do we turn up and go at them straight away, or are we just gonna do another City disaster again? That's the problem. It's just weird because we have our on and off games where we're good, and then next game we can't be bothered. It's just one of them, and I think I just want to see us get 3 points like every single fan does.
Yeah, that's almost it's N'Golo Kante, as we were saying at the top of the show, will turn up. Probably Boston midfield. Yeah, Boston midfield. Kev, I was going to ask you if there was any positives at the game against Manchester City, but really
first half.
Yeah,
I thought we were going to say we closed them down well the first half. We forced Edison to give it away multiple times. We forced them to put it out of play multiple times. They had no space. We actually played it well. It's a problem, and it happened against Real Madrid as well, and it happened against another couple of sides. I think it was Brentford and Wolves. But it's after half time. For some reason, we're coming out and we look like we're ready to go. Klopp has them out, ready to go in the tunnel. We come out onto the pitch and within 7 minutes, we're down a goal, maybe even 2 after 9 or 10 minutes. And I'm just like, what's happened? And that happened against Real Madrid. It happened against a few quality sides this season, and even a few mediocre sides this season. And I'm just like, because I know we had our period of time where we're getting passed through the middle of the park, but it was at these moments, just either side of halftime, that there was a problem. Always around the 30-minute mark, always around within the first 10 minutes of the second half is our problematic areas, whether the concentration level drops or something happens. But and then what happens? The head drops. For me, Trent was very poor the other day, and I'm at a stage now where I'm kind of done with dealing with. I don't care if he scores around it. I'm kind of done unless he's moved into the midfield. No, I don't trust him anymore right back, and that's just me.
It doesn't help when you've got the manager, and I get it. We spoke about this week, didn't we, mate? It's a managerial mantra, and of course, any manager will come out and back the players. But as we've already alluded to today's episode, obviously, of course, Jurgen will take responsibility. But if I was Klopp or manager Liverpool, if I seen Trent playing as bad, I was watching highlights.
I'll be down now, Mob.
Yeah. Oh, good, Andrew. Score prediction, Andrew, before you shoot off for tomorrow, mate.
I'm going to say
a win.
Liverpool 2-1.
Yes. Quick start 11 as well, mate.
Ali, Trent, Kanate, Van Dijk, Robbo. Probably say Fabinho, Elliot, and potentially Arthur, and then be front three. Obviously, Nunes, Gakpo, Salah.
Big up, Lar. Massive thank you for coming on, mate. And if I see Arthur, I'm
Yeah.
not going to shake his hand. I'm going to square up to him going, what are you doing, you absolute sausage?
Right, I'll see you next time anyway.
Big
I've
up,
enjoyed
lad.
the
All
show.
right, Danny.
Rest of the
Look,
show.
look, Andrew. See you, bud.
Hope you have a lovely birthday weekend, mate, as well. But big up there, Andrew. And that's the whole bloody debate on itself, Kev. That wound me up so much in terms of
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. Like, whatever Pep was doing to Simicast, I don't know whether he thinks that it's. Okay, so everything's kind of become less aggressively competitive these days in football. We can see that, and apparently everybody has respect for each other and all this and that. But is it getting really to the stage where you can be buddy on the sideline, or is somebody going to nip that in the bud and really call that out?
If that
You
was
know?
Endo, mate, Endo would have nutted him or something.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't do that if that's Endo or like straight away. Like,
yeah. I don't know what the situation with Arthur was. Maybe it's because he knew Pep, and maybe he just didn't realize the situation he was just in, and he was just, I mean, if you're not involved in the competitiveness of a game or something like that, maybe you're just kind of concentrating on the thing that you're doing at that point, which is just run up and down the side. And if somebody says anything, you're just like, oh shit, and then you're carrying on regardless. And maybe look, I'm not going to go too harsh on the guy. He's not played much for us at all, besides maybe a friendly or something like that. So I can only say that maybe he should have kept his head on with regards to what Pep did. But Pep shouldn't have been doing it anyway. If anything, it's Pep should be held accountable for acting in that manner towards the opposition players. And I don't mean that he was doing it in a nasty way. It's just that he was trying to bring buddiness into a situation where it's a competitive team between the two best teams in the league for the last at least 10 years, I'd say. So yeah,
and that's where the bite, and we've spoke about it, mate. All of us. That's been one of my biggest gripes this season. The bite in terms of our team, the anger within the team. As I said, if that was Henderson, but I'm pretty sure Costas, if you asked him after the game, was very close to doing something. Even if if Costas shoves Pep, he probably rolls round on the floor like he's done in the past anyway, and he's played for Barca in the back in the day. Done a prime Busquets. But it's like, and I'm all for. I think we all are, mate. In terms of I want to see a bit of nastiness for because we start on the Muppets inside the stadium anyway. In terms of, and obviously the team bus got smashed up again, but it's typical. They're trying to create a rivalry that won't be here until
that's never going to be a rivalry.
Another 15, 20 years. Even if the City did continue to win, but that's another show for another night. Anyway.
That would only be a rivalry that's created on people forgetting where the team came from, where City came from. They didn't come out of success; they came out of money, and that rivalry will only exist in my grandkids' eyes that didn't live here. That weren't alive at the time, didn't know anything about it, and there's not anybody old enough to tell them about it. That's where that rivalry is only going to happen. It's not going to be. I don't even think it could be 15 years if we keep winning things side by side, and then it will just create that way. But it didn't spawn out of old rivalry. It's United will always be the biggest rivals to us. So for me, it shouldn't have happened. I do believe that we played well in the first half in that game, and City were always trying to control it. Yeah, trying to control the narrative. I know we were poor in that second half. All right, when we dropped the head, but that was a drop of the head. The first half, there was lads fighting in the middle of that park. Lads were closing down left, right, and centre. Salah looked a bit dangerous. He just disappeared out of the game in that second half. Then, he was just gone. Trent just kept giving away the ball. Stupid. Like Robertson is just sitting there kind of looking across the park like what's going on. Van Dijk is sitting there looking across the park, what's going on. And I think these lads, even though they're peak players, are feeling it as well. There's the other lads in the team just letting them down. And some of them can't help it because their legs are gone. And some of them are just not concentrating enough or just not good enough. And on that page, Trent is one of those for me. I think he's been awful. So
I think the penny will eventually drop, mate, in chess. It has to this season. I know it's
and I love Trent, by the way, but he's been awful.
It might get even worse. We'll find out tomorrow evening, and obviously the Arsenal game as well. I think if Arsenal come to Anfield and put a marker down, like tested the barometer really of how far they've come this season. If they come to Anfield and won, I think that them winning this, they've won the league there and then. Because I think that, as you alluded to, Kev, that's one of their games in the past that they've always struggled. Every time I've went to the Arsenal games in the past, it's been probably the most exciting. Probably I'd say it has been the fixture that I've went to the most. Obviously, we've always playing them in the cup for continuous seasons, but we've always done well.
It's always been a fun fixture lately, isn't it?
Yeah,
so for me, I think so. But I don't know. Do you want my starting 11 or do you want to go through it?
We'll just rattle through these. Yeah, we'll go for the starting 11 in a second. Yeah, it's the last couple of ones here. Gary, that's 4-0 Chelsea, Gary. Hopefully though. But Mark, we need our goal difference back, Mark, so you never know. Just think it was a general respect. But for me, Mark, it was when he covered his mouth like that, I think it made it even worse, in all honesty. But behave there, Tom. You'll be getting there timed out by Mark in a little second, Mark.
Top just less than everybody. That's just
But yeah, big up there, John. Hope you're well, matey. Thank you for tuning in, matey. And Doug has joined us. I'll just add Doug in a little seconds. But if you ignore that, we would have been, 100%. It would have been fuming. But we've had a good week, John, as well. But a slow start would have been justified. The full season is a joke. Afternoon, big up there. And we are joined by Doug. Doug, how are you doing, mate?
Just going from work, mate. How are you?
Appreciate it, lad. And obviously, just talking Chelsea, mate. It's thoughts really going into this fixture. A lot of trepidation, really, from all of us. But
yeah, I've got to say, this game, I don't know how I feel because obviously, like, I know Graham Potter's like gone from Chelsea, but usually between Chelsea and Liverpool, I think the last 5 meetings have either been like 0-0, 1-1, or 2-2. So I think, obviously, I'm not a betting man, but I think you probably get good money on a draw tomorrow. I think it's got a draw run all over it. I know Chelsea have been very, very poor recently, but you know, I think I've got a show at 5:45. I've called my stream El Crapico because both sides have been really, really poor recently. And I'm kind of listening in as well to what you said about Arthur. I can't believe what he's done.
I hope you look at him like this week. Like if you're like any of those players and they don't look good after the game. It was the way he shook his hand and then said something probably in Spanish or Portuguese or whatnot. And but yeah, it's what we're saying for him to start tomorrow in the midfield. Just a quickly general thoughts on Potter as well, Doug. Obviously we've had Ant and Kev's enjoying it. What are you doing there, Kev?
I was just completely after forgetting that we were after changing the time, Doug, to 5:45 because I was telling Jack I have to go in 5 minutes because I'm on Doug's show. And then I looked down the chat and he goes, "Oh, you did say 5:45." Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, I said 5:45 because we've got Ankit from All My Blues coming on as well. Just very, very quickly on Potter, never going to work, mate. Never, ever going to work. I was worried when he left Brighton. I thought he's made a big error leaving Brighton. And I think as well, the Chelsea job was way too big for him. I think we've kind of seen at this at the stage. I think he might suit the Spurs maybe. I think he'll probably be like going to maybe Leicester maybe. It's quite weird the story of obviously Vardy and him having the same sort of agency, or something. So, I'm not surprised if he's gone. I was surprised at the timing of it, but I think it was only a matter of when, not if. I think actually you got a stay of execution after beating Dortmund. I don't think Chelsea are going to beat Real Madrid. Well, they might now, but with Potter, I don't think they would have beaten Real Madrid.
Very historically, they've always had that with managers, haven't they, mate? In terms of just sacking them. We'll get to starting 11s as well, chat. Big up there, John. John's going with a 2-1. Aussies, chat. But
how are you feeling anyway, by the way?
Bit coffee, as you can tell.
He asked me to sing him to sleep last night, and I just said, Jack, you know, we've got a good friendship, but I mean, you know, I have to sing for the kids first, and then, you know, I'll put you down afterwards. Sorry.
Yeah, I could probably fit in the crib anyway. So, but yeah, I thought it was going deaf as well. Kev's mic was playing up at the top of the show, and chat was like, "No, Kev, sound like he's done about 5 gigs in one night."
I saw that. I actually thought someone sounded like they were underwater for that.
Yeah,
that's probably what it was. Some sort of filter or something. Like it was grand when I listened to it through OBS, and then when I came back through here, I was like, "Why is it doing that?" I think it was just how it read my mic going through, because it just changed over from the Focusrite to that, because it wasn't turned on. Just the natural filter, I think, without even needing a filter.
Yeah.
Well, me and my wife have been sort of passing the cold back and forth. Last week I couldn't do any shows. Like, my voice was completely gone. Like I had like a couple of sneezing fits as well. So, you know, like, imagine, like, I think I managed to do like one show last week, and it was a Scotland Spain reaction. And then, like, I'm still sounding a little bit choked up at the moment, but I'm much more clearer in my throat than I was a week ago. So, yeah, I couldn't do any shows last week.
It's this time of year. My wife was getting the same thing happening to her, and I get it so often. But I always tell everybody, the start of the season, at the very start of March, go and get yourself a bottle of saline spray. Do it, bang it up your nose every third day, leave it off, and I bet you don't get sick for the rest of the month. It's all around hay fever that you don't even know you have. It's all because a lot of people get hay fever and they're all bunged up and they're like that. But this kind of causes these little mini sicknesses. And I always tell people, spray up the nose, sort it.
Whoa, it's not the weekend, lad. But yeah, Chris, big up there, mate. And obviously everyone, just look after yourselves as well. Hello, mate. Big up, Chris. Hope you're well, mate. Thank you for tuning in as always. Obviously, a massive thank you for everyone for the continued support. I think we reached 8,000 subscribers. Not subscribers, 8,000 followers on Facebook, which is fantastic as well, everyone. So if you are watching on Facebook, a massive thank you.
Good going, mate.
And obviously on YouTube and everything. So as we say, Rome wasn't built in a day. So we'll get there and obviously continue the grinds. Obviously, nice one for that, Mark. Obviously, dropping Doug. You're live at 6:15, are you, Doug? So obviously, if you do shoot off here,
6:45, yeah.
Yeah, so Doug is live in 45 minutes with Kev. I'll try my best to pop on if I can speak. We should be able to. I'll pop on anyway. But big up as well. Kev, starting 11, mate. And chat.
Right. I'm going to go what I want, and then rather than what Klopp I think is going to do, because what I want to see is Ali. I want to see Milner a right back. I don't want to see Trenta. Not after the last game. I just don't think his head is right. I think he's obviously got the best right foot that we have in the team, but I just don't want to see him there at the start of a game. I want to see him being brought on and just to know that his place is not. I just think he's in his zone where he thinks he's untouchable, to be honest with you, and he's got no competition with Ramsey not starting. I just see when you see somebody's mindset and how they go. For me, yeah, he's not there. So Milner, Konate, Verge, Robertson. I'd say, because we're also thinking about Arsenal, which is a big game as well in the weekend, and Klopp has got to go with whoever he thinks is going to be fit for both, really. And he needs to start utilising most of the squad for this. For me, I would love to see it tested out if Fabinho's going to start and Henderson maybe on that right. If Elliott's not starting, I'd like to see Gakpo starting on the left of that midfield in like an anchor pivot role. And I don't think Diaz mightn't start, so that's the case. Gakpo's going to be out the left, Jota could be out the left. It's hard to tell. What I want to see though is I want to see Gakpo on the left of that midfield a little bit higher up than the other two lads, and I want to see Diaz on the left, Nunes in the middle, and Salah through the right. And that would be because I think the way Gakpo's been driving on through that midfield lately has been fantastic. He's been working really well. He's been coming back. He's been winning the ball back, turning, and then running through players, not even around them, but running through players. And they have to pull him down or take it, to stop him. He's a strong lad. And I think he can make a fantastic. I think he's much better when he's playing a little deeper than what he is up forward. So I think he can create a lot more, and I think he drags out a lot more defenders to chase him, which will just free up the place for the rest of the lads, you know. So for me, yeah, I would do it that way.
Yeah, Chris is going.
Whether Klopp does that or not, I don't know.
It was the thing, and Doug and chat. it's not like we've got a lot of options in all honesty, is it? But I think Klopp, if you missed Klopp's interview today in the presser, saying that Thiago is back, which is positive, but he's not going to be back in time for this game tomorrow evening. Of course, similar story with Luis Diaz as well. Said he's back in trading, but he doesn't want to rush him. At the end of the day, we don't want to be rushing. For me, if it was up to Liverpool, I know we're in a difficult position, but I just don't want us to rush Diaz back. If it means him not playing for 10 weeks and we finish the season with just him getting back to full fitness, just do that, because I don't want him getting injured and then he's out for another 6 months like he was when we went to Dubai.
20-minute cameos up till Spurs would be sound.
Yeah. But Chris has gone with Gomez, Canate, Van Dijk, Robbo back line. Yeah, it's Gakpo, Nunes, Elliott up front. Interesting dropping Salah by looks for Chris, but as I said, United caved in the other night. I'll tell you what, chat, if we pull out this season out of the mire and we get top four with Newcastle, and as Kev alluded to that statistic, Doug, that would be a bit of a mad season, wouldn't it? After their greatest season, supposedly, in recent seasons.
Did you hear the statistic, Doug?
No, I didn't.
No, so United have are worse off this season in their points right now by a lot compared to Rangnick and Rangnick and Ronaldo in their team last year, which means that they've pretty much stayed the same, which proves that everybody else has dropped off and they've just pretty much stayed the same with a trophy in their belt. So they haven't, they're behind by like 7 or 8 points from what they were this time last season under Rangnick. So it just goes to show that they haven't really improved. Everybody else has kind of dropped off around them. I said that Brighton, Newcastle and Arsenal are probably the only teams that really, really improved this season. And then I think City stayed pretty much the same with a slight decline because, fatigue over years, the same as us. But we've had it massively because of the amount of games that we played and the World Cup and all of that. But it just shows that United stayed the same. And it kind of shows it on the table anyway, I think. Yeah,
but I think as well that since they won the Carabao Cup on the 26th of February, they haven't scored a goal in the league. They've played 4 games in the league and they've scored 0 goals. And that was obviously including.
Was it that tweet that I think they done a tweet as well? Done like a Sergio Busquets against Liverpool. We only need 1 goal. I think they tweeted "we're back" or something, or something. Yeah. And they haven't, as you said, they haven't scored since then. But
Rio did it to him the last time, didn't he? When he says, "Oh, United are back. They've won 10 in a row or something under Ali," and next minute they didn't win a game, and Ali got fired. And so yeah, they tend to jinx themselves. Really, you should just get on with it.
The thing is as well for Manchester United fans, like point of view as well, like they must be very, very concerned about their away form, especially against top half teams. Like I've seen, like obviously I know like Aston Villa are now back into the top half, but they lost to Aston Villa, they've lost to Brentford, they've lost to us, they've lost to City, they've lost to Arsenal. I think the only team that they haven't lost to in the top half, I think, is Spurs. That's mental.
We've got Villa to play, haven't we?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I think so. Yeah,
we're at home though.
Are we?
Yeah, we're at Anfield. Yeah.
I'm still not looking forward to that. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Watkins. But know what he's gonna do.
The only way that I'm kind of feeling more positive about the situation is because I know we got City and Arsenal now, but then like we've got, and I know we were done by Leeds earlier in the season, but if we're really going to push on for a drive and we get if we get 4 points out of these next 2 games, it'll be a good showing because it's Leeds, Forest, West Ham, and then a really bad Spurs at the moment, Fulham, who are going to be without Mitrovic for probably the rest of the season if he gets banned that long. And then you have Brentford, Leicester, who are they're going to be testing out new managers, new form. By the time it gets to that, you see there's an early bounce back for them. But then by the time it comes around to us playing them, they could have lost and be drawn and losing a lot of games at that stage. Aston Villa's second last game of the season, and then Southampton. That's a good run.
I mean, the thing is where you say that, Kev, is that yes, basically we've got a very, very good sort of running coming up. But how many games are you confident? How many games are you now confident basically going into that we can actually win? Because Leeds, Forest and West Ham, there are no gimmies, especially with our form this season. And We always struggle at the London Stadium. We always struggle at the London Stadium. And Leeds, I think, are on a bit of a... I wouldn't say they're on a bit of a high. I know they lost 4-1 against Arsenal yesterday, but even still, I would say... on Saturday, sorry. But even still, I would say like Elland Road is a feisty place
they're a team that
to go to.
You spot on them. They're a team that will press us into the bloody next Christmas.
That's the thing about Leeds, though. They're easily because they press us so much. They're easy counter-attack. The teams that we struggle against the most are the teams that defend right out to the corners. And if we don't come back, like West Ham are going to be at home, surely they're not going to be defending like that at home. Forest will come at us and they'll try to defend, but it's Anfield. But Leeds, then, yeah.
Brentford gives me nightmares because they are our kryptonite in reality. Even when. And I love Thomas Frank. I think I want him to stay at Brentford.
Fantastic manager.
Yeah, if not that I never want Jurgen to go, but I know a lot of people go, "What are you doing, Frank?" But I think for what he's doing on the budget as well at Brentford,
he would have been my choice as well. Yeah,
yeah, he's massively overachieving. And if I was a team outside the top 6, I'd be all over him. As much as sorry to Brentford fans, because I tell you what, if he gets to Europe with Brentford somehow, and it's not above the realms of possibility as well. And I don't know why Ivan Toney's not being done for betting yet. He must have been putting on a cheeky acca for him to all of a sudden.
Yeah, I've actually heard more about that. Apparently, FIFA are going to wait until the end of the season to basically make a decision on Ivan Toney. They're basically going to have a say, which is typical FIFA and typical Gianni Infantino, who likes to stick his big nose in to other people's business. But yes, I believe that FIFA are going to have a bit of a discussion about this, and I think they're just waiting until the end of the season. And then I think Tony will get a big ban probably.
Unless Ivan Toney sends a couple of envelopes to Giovanni, as you said, mate. You never know, might send him a portion of his winnings if he actually has.
We might give him a few tips.
Yeah. What is it? Ivan Toney 10-1 to get an hat-trick. I'm getting an hat-trick this week, boys. There we go, whack it on. But it's weird in it, chat. And as we say, I think they're sponsored Brentford by Hollywood Bets, which is a whole series in itself. If your clubs, and that's a whole thing in terms of football.
I think I saw something as well. I think they're trying to get gambling out of football tops as well.
And I'd agree with that. In all honesty, mate, I think that's something that needs.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a whole new show in itself, mate. But it pains me to say, but I think we deserve top. We don't. Pains me to start again. It pains me to say, but I don't think we deserve top 4 due to her. I'd agree, Chris. I'd agree, and probably I'm.
But would Spurs deserve it over us?
Yeah, Spurs are somehow weirdly still there. I
don't think they deserve it more than us. I think because of the I think we just have to be given a little bit of leeway. Let's say 20% leeway back on the season that we played last season, because of the amount of games we played, because of the World Cup in the middle. I think we deserve a little bit more respect than what Spurs do for the position that they're in. How they're still in that position, I don't understand, but they're there. And that just shows you that everybody else has been kind of mediocre around them, even the improved teams. Like Newcastle have drawn a lot as well. So
yeah. Doug, sorry, to be fair, the original badge in relation to Liverpool, I think, mate, or obviously the Liverpool one. I don't know.
Which old badge though? Is it going back to the 80s, or is it going to the 90s one, 2000s?
The one that's on the shirts at the moment. I prefer that one to the old one. Everyone likes a retro shirt, don't they? They like a retro shirt with the old badge. But I'm not really decided on anything. But obviously, I was listening to what Kev's lineup would be. I would kind of agree. I would want to see Gomez at right back though. I would like to see Gomez at right back. I don't think it's going to happen. And I've got a feeling, with just obviously Arsenal coming up, I've got a feeling maybe Simicast might come in for Robbo. I've got a feeling that he might come in.
As I said,
might come in tomorrow.
The same thing,
Yeah.
As far as the midfield's concerned, I mean, do we really think Arthur Miller is going to start? Realistically,
I'm gonna drive him to John Lennon Airport, mate, after the game if he needs it.
Getting back to Turin.
Obviously, we'll get your starting 11 in a little second, Doug. But obviously, that was just Chris's message. Obviously, the badges through Liverpool's history. I like that incorporation. Obviously, that second badge. I think obviously it garnered much of success in the 70s and 80s. Obviously, I think that was the mid.
That's my favorite one, the Joe Hovering over.
Yeah,
that's my favorite. That's just an animal looking.
Mm-hmm.
It's an animal of a shield. That's, you're talking the 80s there, like, and that's my favorite shield out of all of them. Yeah.
Was that 50, 60? It might be at
that one there. They did versions of it where it was without the Liverpool thing. It was just the shield and the LFC, and then there was one with just the bird and the LFC that we're kind of mimicking now.
There we go. The evolution. There we go. And see. So that tells you the time.
It's got to be the late 80s, I think, is the favourite one. You're talking like is that it there? This should be around 87, 92,
yeah,
93.
55 to 68 to 40 it was, yeah.
No, not that one. It's the other one. Off to the right for me.
Oh, that one?
No, next one.
That one.
Yeah, that.
That's the classic one. That was 87 to 90.
Yeah, I was right, yeah. 87 to 92. You're talking like the era of Barnes and Aldridge, and it just looked brilliant on the shirt, you know. It was nice. Yeah, it's my favourite badge.
Yeah. Well, you never know. As I said, Chris, if you get your way, mate, you never know. Could be going back to obviously the one in the
90s that we had, I know, with all the green on it and all that. That's just the full crest. You know, that's the whole crest of the club, and it was there, but it was always a bit much. And Jesus, it just stabbed you in the chest the whole time when it was there, didn't it? I just think it just needs to be represented by more simplified. But it was, it's the badge is still gorgeous, but maybe stick it on one of the kits or something.
Yeah, big up there, chat. Hang on. There's my computer actually wants to respond. I'm trying to get bloody Panov's message up. Big up, Panov. If my computer wants to wake up. Hello. There we go. Big up the boys. Big up, mates. Hope you're well, matey.
Panov.
Well, as Chris is saying, never know. It will be interesting. But Doug, starting 11, mate. I know you got to round up very soon because you and Kev are live. So, your starting 11, Doug, for tomorrow evening.
Well, I'm going to say what I want, but I don't think it will be the case. But Ali, Gomez, Konate, Van Dijk, Tsimikas, Fabinho, Elliott. You see,
it's hard.
Now that it's difficult. It is very, very difficult.
I think Milner's about to pop into your head there now because you're thinking of balance. And Milner's
I am thinking Milner because I don't want to see Henderson on the left-hand side again.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, Fabinho, Milner, Elliott, and then I think it'll be Gakpo. I think Nunez will be back for this one. I'm going to go Salah.
Yeah, I'd go with Nunez on the left, Gakpo. Salah. I'd bring Henderson in because I think we just need his leadership qualities on the pitch. Obviously.
He does tend to play well against Chelsea, though. I give him that.
Yeah,
he does have good games against Chelsea.
He's got experience.
Need to remember as well, like Gakpo can run at people as well. So I think having him in that false nine would be very, very good, especially with the run of pace that he did to get away from Rodri, who should have been sent off. I still back that. He still should have been sent off. With the whiny little bugger that he is, coming out and after the Scotland game and saying, "Oh, Scotland fall to the ground very, very easily."
That's a bit rich coming from a team that has Sergio Busquets.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't the whole Spanish league just known for diving?
Yeah, well,
it's the entire league.
Them and Italy, it's like an opera, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like they look at it as like an opera in terms of that.
Yeah. Like the Spanish kind of tend to go down and go, and then the Italians are going over this, so they dive further, you know what I mean? So that's just. So it depends on what kind of app you're into, Spanish or Italian, really. Like,
jumping out of the backwater as well. Yeah, go ahead, lad. Or is it Strictly Come Dancing Turn? But yeah, chat. So, Joe, score prediction.
School of Ashley Young.
Oh yeah, Jesus. But yeah, Joe, score prediction. Get Kev's score prediction. Chat.
I think this is going to draw down all over it. I'm going 1-1.
1-1. Kev.
I think we step up in this one a bit compared to the last game. I think it's unacceptable to get 2 bad results in a row in these situations. Chelsea can always nick a goal, but I'm going to... I think it's going to be by 2 goals. It'll either be 3-1 or it'll be 1-0. Yeah, I think so. Because I think the way Gakpo's been playing has been playing well. I think Nunes coming back is good. I think if Luis Diaz gets a cameo, he'll be doing well. I think Jota needs a goal desperately, and I think he'll be going for one in this game big time because he hasn't had a goal. Was it 19 games now or something? So he needs.
It's nearly a year since he scored a goal, Jota.
Yeah, is it? Yeah,
nearly a year.
Oh wow. Yeah, so that'll tell you. And he was injured for majority. So that would be about 19-20 games, yeah. So I'm thinking like with that length of time and the 2 injuries he's had, yeah. So he needs to score, man, big time. So I think they're going to be all out for it. I think Salah always pops up with a goal lately against Chelsea. So yeah.
Yeah, chat's having a little giggle here. It's Panov's birthday, and Mark just said it's his 18th birthday. So happy birthday, lads! I'm the worst.
Happy birthday, Panov.
So big up there. So yeah, you don't want me singing that, you know.
I don't know.
Yeah, big up there, ends. Oh jeez. No, Kev. No. Yeah, in a bit, lad. Yeah. In a bit. 3, 2, 1. You're back in the do. There we go. Oh my God! Oh no. Whoa! Bloody hell! Echo.
The reverb and all was coming in.
Yeah, I do a Tannoy announcements of Panov's birthday, lad.
I do, sir.
We'd like to say happy birthday to Panov Scouse in the chat. Happy birthday.
Yeah, check out this as well. Big up there, lad.
I just realised I've still got my jacket on. Goodness me. Give me a minute. I'm going to put my jacket off.
Oh, sound that. But yeah, we will be rounding off here, chap. But obviously, ends if you're around, mate. Obviously, you're welcome to pop in, mate. The link is there, and Mark, can you please drop ends channel link in the comments, please, mate.
Skaggins.
But Doug's back. We'll just quickly round off here. 1 second. Very soon, Panov's gone 2-0. We just want to win tomorrow night, everyone. It's as scrappy as it probably will be, as we know, and obviously both teams playing absolute.
I don't care how we win. If the ball goes off someone's backside, if it goes off a thigh, just bloody win. We need maximum points from these next 2 games if we were a chance at top 4.
But yeah, no worries, mate. But yeah, spot on. I should be doing a post-match watch-along. You can tell you haven't done a bloody live stream in about 2 years. I'll be doing a watch... oh, Christ. Finish up here, McKindo. I'll be doing a watch-along tomorrow evening. Robinson all day. Yeah. Happy birthday, obviously, ends saying big up there, la. Nice one, Mark. I've seen it on my age. It's straight away, fan of. Oh, good. Keep going, lad. Jack Grealish, don't get me, Chris. I'll go on for another hour and 20 about that sausage. Jack Grealish.
He was to be fair to Grealish, and I don't particularly like him, but I thought he was man of the match on Saturday.
He was good.
Mr. Gucci, Christ.
He was good because nobody would step out to him. That was the problem. They were afraid to tackle him.
Yeah, if you touch him, he goes down quite easy, doesn't he? Thanks, guys. Big up there, mate. I'm going, but Chris is going with 2-0 to the Reds. I'm going to go 2-0. I'll go with Chris's score prediction. I'm going to go 2-0, as Doug has alluded to. I'll obviously answer the top of the show, and Kev, just win, boys. Regardless of however we win. But yeah, no, big up there, mate. I will very much. If you're around tomorrow ends anyway, I'd love to get you on, mate. Obviously, because I know everyone's busy doing the shows, but I'll send you a link on the socials, mate. But big up there, matey. But yeah, Ends has gone with a 2-0 to Chelsea. Just need the most points to get there now. And as I said at the top of the show, we just got to try and be as positive as we can. Yeah, it might be too positive, really, but I think there's still a long way to go. I know matches are running out, chat, but I think we just got to send positive vibes. I think words carry meaning in this world, and I think if we can all of us channel that energy to this Liverpool team, hopefully you can sense it and just really get their act together. And I'm pretty sure, and we've watched this Liverpool team in recent seasons. I know this year there's a very strange year, but I think if we can send all positive energy, get the lads, just get the act together, really finish strong, and especially we can nick in a top 4. I know a lot of people are quite rightfully writ off top 4, but we finished third when was it fourth or third when we had literally no centre halves.
It was third. Chelsea dropped down because we were 14 points behind at one stage, and we came back. So yeah,
but yeah, it's still a long way to go, and what we're saying on the prediction as well tonight, a big relegation scrap for the Ev. Tottenham doing the business tonight.
I think Tottenham won because they've got no Conte. I just got a feeling that they'll win that, Tottenham. But I actually would not be surprised if that ends in a draw as well. That's one of the most drawn fixtures, I think, in Premier League history ever in Tottenham.
Yeah, no, absolute bloody madness. Kev, go. Tottenham win, hopefully, Chef.
For personal reasons, I kind of want Everton to get a result, even though I still think they'll go down. But Tottenham are the favourites in that, and for us, because of the 8 points, and we still have a game in hand on Spurs, I'd like to get that gap up, because if United do start to capitulate, then they're going to drop into the same battle with us, them Newcastle, and I think Brighton they won't get there, but I think they'll be a surprise factor getting a couple of results left, right, and centre. We don't have them for the rest of the season, so that's good, but they do. So that kind of that helps us all a bit, with them being involved.
Yeah, it's going to be mad chat, especially if you have 2 get 3 points. Just looking at the table here, you get 3 points, that'll put them on 29. It leapfrog them ahead of Wolves on the same amount of games. So it's just madness. It's like ridiculous. Tom,
away you go, Tom. Away you go.
So I was going to say time him out, but we are concluding tonight. Today's episode anyway. But I'll have a word with Tom. Don't worry, chat after the show. Be positive, fellas. Haven't lost. You love to see a panel. That's the stuff. I'll behave. But Kev, you want to shout out obviously the channel that we're doing, mate?
Yeah, we're starting. Well, I had it for a while, and it was meant to be kind of a comedy special thing, but we're broadening it out now. It's small, but me and Jack are going in together on it, and it's just going to be mainly an all Premier League channel, not just Liverpool. So we're going to have a lot more guests and stuff coming in from around the league, which will make it fair and it'll give good opposition points, and we bring in the odd Liverpool band along with that, and with the upgrade that I've done on StreamYard, we can bring in like 10 to 12 guests as well, so which is pretty cool, and we should be able to have a good hash out system of maybe even like 1.5 hour to 2 hour streams in this kind of scenario, but yeah, it's called the Kitmen, and it's me and Jack and others getting involved in it, and it'll be pretty cool. So,
but yeah, Doug, you are live in 20 minutes, so I've bloody got to get a move on. You will be live in 20 minutes, mate. Just shout out obviously your channel and just what you got coming up tonight and obviously this coming week, mate.
Yeah, the Doug of my channel is back to normal after obviously a week off of being very, very ill and obviously being choked up with the man flu, as they say. But yeah, tonight Chelsea Liverpool preview. That's at 5:45. Got Anchor, got Kev. We've got I can't remember. Is it GTV? Is it GTV? Yeah, I think that's his name. G. Possibly Michael Talks Football as well. Got an all-star panel is what I'd like to call. Jack, you're welcome to come on. If you feel like your voice is not too good, then
I think I might need a ventilator after this episode.
Yeah. Nah, don't. Honestly, don't worry. I'll get you on another show. And yeah, Chelsea reaction tomorrow. Arsenal preview on Wednesday, and then Thursday the Prem prediction show with Mr. Owen Thomas, the David Attenborough podcasting, which I like to say. And then it's Good Friday, believe it or not. Yeah, it's the Easter weekend. It's feels a bit early for Easter, I can't lie. But no, thank you very much for having me. I'm glad I managed to get in before I was going to go live anyway. And yeah, good to chat to you and Kev as always.
Always welcome, man. So chat. If you're not doing it in the next 20 minutes, please do head over to the Dugout Football channel. Kevin, the lads, as he said, will be over there. I'll be sharing the link on my social tab, so
I'm Kev.
You can find them. But big up there, chat. A massive thank you to Ant as well, who did drop in, give the perspective. Really, we spoke about at the top of the show, obviously the managerial merry-go-round, the Premier League. Probably will do a lot more episodes in relation to that Premier League news, because bloody changing by the bloody hour at this minute, at this rate. But lads, and first and foremost, everyone in the comments, have a lovely rest of your evening. As I said, look after yourselves. We'll be live tomorrow, hopefully, for a watch along. If anything changes, I'll let you know on the social tab anyway, so just keep an eye on that. But looking good, should be doing one. But chat, lads, as well, a massive thank you as always. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, whatever socials, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you do head over, subscribe to all the lads' socials. They will be in the description as well. But Reds, we go again tomorrow. Christ, come on, boys, get your act together. Pretty sure they will. Come on. Do that.